Good evening, everybody. 8:38 on, I think it's Monday. Hope you had a good holiday. Most of the people I knew are off today. Off today. I wanted to give you a couple updates and kind of talk to you guys about a couple of things. The First of all, as it relates to the case with the 146 school districts and the 20 some teachers districts, the appellate court, as you're aware, denied the governor's request for appeal. Hello, Danielle. He came on again talking about he's going to seek his appeal to the Supreme Court, and I've seen articles shooting around across the state. As of tonight at 8:38, well, let me make sure I look again because I don't want to be wrong. But as of 8:39 p.m. on Monday, we have not seen any request to the Illinois Supreme Court for an appeal. So, to the extent the governor said they were appealing, they've not done it yet, and that was again last Friday. That I think Thursday, maybe Thursday, that ruling was entered. So yeah, it hasn't happened yet. So to the extent you see articles talking about the appeal, again, until I say otherwise, from my email at least, we don't have an appeal, and that appeal would not be quick, notwithstanding what the governor says. So beyond that, I think we're pushing 650 plus school districts in the state. It's easier to talk about which ones haven't changed yet versus which ones that have. So a couple of things I wanted to say about that. Even if school districts have right now switched to a mask optional policy, doesn't mean that down the road, month, two, next school year, they don't try to switch back, right? Really have to get to the end of this case to where, again, Judge Grishow has made it clear school districts don't have that authority, but that wasn't a final ruling by her. That was what's called an interlocutory ruling, a temporary ruling. And it's not going away anytime soon. But from a formality perspective, getting that through to the end so parents don't have to worry about this again down the road, not even just the governor's farce that he was putting out there, but the school districts making sure it doesn't happen. So there's no appeal yet. 650 districts, give or take. So do you guys really believe that anytime, at least in this school year, that genie's going back in the bottle? It's not going back in the bottle. You know, for my personal opinion, which you guys know I don't give to you much for the most part, is he just trying to save face because he's politically taken a bath in the last month or two, and he wants to get reelected, and he needs to try to cure the ails that he's been suffering at the hands of the people. But that's that. Now I want to talk to you guys about. There was a couple articles that came out today about what I'm wanting to do or what I might do, and it hasn't been an easy conversation for me. I am one of the most non-political people that most of my friends has met. I don't care for politics much. I don't like politicians. A registered Republican. My beliefs align more with Republicans than they do others, but I'm usually pretty moderate when it comes to trying to appreciate what everybody has to say. And so, I'm not a fan of politics in general. So when people were asking me about, is this stuff progressed when you run? I have no desire to be a politician, legislature, and no interest. And so my desire has always been, and it still is today, to try to help people, right? I believe you can help people not by being a legislator or something. You can help people by working with them so they can help themselves and represent themselves, educate themselves, empower themselves. That's the only way that we can really get anything accomplished, in my opinion, in this country. And so, at one point in time, I believed that running for the appellate court in the 5th Appellate District was a way that I might be able to work to accomplish my ultimate goal, which is to help people help themselves. And, being in that position would give me the flexibility to still spend time helping people. And, I've thought about that and I thought about it. And, I certainly wasn't running for that position because I thought I was more qualified. We've got Judge Mike McCaney, who's running for that position, who I think is as qualified as any judge I've ever seen to hold that position. So it certainly wasn't about me thinking that I would be better suited than him in any fashion. But then the last 3 or 4 weeks have kind of changed a little bit for me. Okay. It kind of changed me a little bit. After the Judge Griswold issued her ruling, which we fought hard for, and I watched people, all of you, fight hard for that. What did I see after that? It really kind of changed my perspective. I saw kids across this state standing up for themselves. And I've told you guys, have heard me say it before, right? 7-year-old children, I can't even see them. I got them down here. 7-year-old babies walk. I saw a video of this child, this little girl walking in her school. Her mom sent it to me without a mask on, standing tall, trying to stand up for what she believed in. Can you imagine how hard it was for that baby to do that at that age, right? Most adults I know don't have that courage. They're always scared of something. And this little child, she didn't have that. She was strong. And I've met a few other kids along the way that I've saw how hard they have fought for what they wanted. And it got me thinking, how do we keep this from happening anymore? Right? Can we survive another one of these events? I don't know. If 2, 3, 4 years down the road, if some other, I've told you before, guys, if some other disaster comes along, are we going to be able to survive it again? Or are we going to completely fall short and let executives run our country, run our state? And that's not a Democrat or Republican thing necessarily. It's bigger than that. We happen to have Governor Pritzker right now, who I thought failed miserably in governing over the last 2 years because he didn't govern, he ruled. How do we stop that from happening again? And what can I do to help that to not happen? Because I'm concerned about my kids, my grandkids, your grandkids. How do we protect them? Because that's really all that I care about. I'm 52 years old. I've accomplished more in my life than I ever thought I would. My kids are now in college and they're, getting through their college and moving on with their lives. They're well on their way. And I'm like, I can't sit by and do nothing and be, even if I was in the court, and not be able to help people fend off this ever happening again. And these children have convinced me of that. So I'm like, what can I do? And I made the decision that there's only one way that I can help. And that's making myself available to the people of this state as Attorney General. I don't know if I'm the right guy for the job. Only you guys know if I'm the right guy for the job. But I do know that we have to have somebody in that position that is going to stand up for the people, right? When you have a choice as an attorney, as any attorney, let alone the Attorney General of this state, when you have a choice between defending someone against the people, you always choose the people. How do you ever say, I'm going to attack the people? People are always right. And if they're not right, remember, they're always right. And again, with no disrespect to this man, I don't know him. I never met him. For 2 years, he has been the governor's lawyer, fighting against the very people that he took an oath to represent. I don't know how I couldn't have done that. And for those people that would say, well, he had to represent the governor. Okay, the governor is his client, but so are the people, right? And when you have a choice, as I've said, you always choose the people. But even if there's a fair question of the law, I mean, Judge Griswold made it clear what the law was. But even if there was like, oh, we're not sure where the law's at on this, we're in a novel legal situation. We weren't, but let's say people thought it was. You stay out of it if you're Attorney General. You stay out of it. You don't say, okay, I'm going to sue 12.5 million people and try to force tyranny down their throat. We have to make sure that that comes to an end, right? We have to make sure that comes to an end. And I only know one way I can help. The people of this state put me in that position, and I promise you on my life, it won't happen here anymore. Because if any governor, I don't care what party he's from or she's from, you try to do that, you're going to have the full force of the Attorney General's office to deal with. And that's how it should be. Does that make sense to you guys? I can't see it any other way. So again, overall in our whole state, if people don't think that's the right thing, then don't vote for me. That's okay. Because if I'm not the right person for that office, then I don't want to be there, right? I am more than happy if I have to, if it's what the people want, to continue doing what I'm doing for a living. But you guys are going to have a choice, right? There's going to be a primary in June. You're going to have a choice. There's a couple of men running against me in the primary. I got nothing bad to say about them. You will never hear me say anything bad about them. But you guys will know the difference of what we are about. And you can make a choice on who you think's best and pick who you think is the best one. I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. And if you think that's the best thing, then that's great. If you don't, that's okay too. If I would make it through the primary, you're going to have a choice. Mr. Raul or me. There should be a stark difference of the two personalities that are going to be there if I'm the nominee for the Republican Party. There is no gray area there. And the people of the state need to choose who they think is best. And if they think Mr. Raul's best, great. I got nothing bad to say about him. I'll never talk bad about him. I will say I'm disappointed in how he represented the people for the last 2 years, but that's as far as I'll go. I got nothing. I don't need to talk about people, because that's what nasty politicians do, and I'm not going to be one of those ever. So that's what we're going to do. And again, we're going to have a formal little get-together on February 28th in Springfield. Hopefully you guys can come out. I've got some young children and teenagers, but they're young to us, coming, and they're going to speak and tell about their experiences of what they've been suffering for the last 2 years. I want you guys to hear those stories, because I'm not sure their stories get told enough. Have a good time on February 28th. I'll talk more about what my ideas would be, but you guys know what I'm all about, right? I've never hid it from you guys of what I'm all about. And I want the Attorney General's office of the state to let everybody know, if you're going to harm the people of the state, you're going to deal with the AG's office. Think of the suffering that's happened the last 2 years at all levels of government, from Governor Pritzker all the way down into some of our local bodies of government. The harm that's been done to our people, to our business owners, to our children, it's unimaginable. And they need to be held to account for that at all levels, top to bottom, held to account. And I'm not so sure, with all due respect, that Mr. Raul's prepared to make them account for that. So that's something else that I would do as AG. I would review the actions of every public official at every level in this state that's done something wrong to harm the people of the state. And if they did something inappropriate, they'll be held to account. That's the second thing, beyond making it clear that the attorney generals of this office will never file an action or defend an action against the people of this state again. No way. Okay? So that's what I want to let you guys know. There is actually out on the website, I think Ryan's in the background. We're filing first thing in the morning. We have to file a document that transfers my Citizens for DeVore account. I'm no expert on that stuff. Got people doing that. We got to change the Citizens for DeVore committee to move it to the different office. We've got that ready to go. The website has a new petition because I've got to get 3,400 signatures. And that's why we're doing this now versus waiting till next Monday, because we've got to get those signatures between now and March 7th. So if you guys could help, I would appreciate it. You can print that petition off on the website. I think it's at tomdevore.com. If that's wrong, Ryan, please chime in.
Yeah, so let's just show him real quick.
Okay, he's going to show you.
So yeah, tomdevore.com, and if you scroll down, you can get the petition in two places. Circulate Tom's petition. You can download now here, and you can check out the website. And if you miss it, you got it here as well. So once you download it, you'll be able to print it off and start circulating the petitions.
Got that, buddy?
Yep.
There's another thing, you guys, and I'll put it out there more later. So the first two things I told you is, one, if I'm Attorney General, you will never worry about that office representing the people on behalf of the governor against the people. That'll never happen, ever, under any circumstances. Two, we will have a whole division that does nothing but look at every elected office from the top to the bottom about harms that have been caused to businesses and citizens of the state over 2 years, and they will be held to account if they did something inappropriate. Third, the corruption at this state at all levels. You all know we're at the top of the list when it comes to corruption in this state. You want somebody to put an end to it? Try me. There will be nobody that's safe if they're corrupt and they're harming the taxpayers and the citizens of this state. I don't care who they are. I don't care what party they're from. I don't care how powerful they think they are, because right now I'm just one man, and billionaire Pritzker wasn't powerful enough to stay out of my sights. Do you think if you put me in that position, there's anybody that's going to intimidate the Attorney General's office? It ain't going to happen. So the corruption that's been plaguing our state, I'll take care of it for you. And it'll get nasty, but that's okay. I'm not scared. That's going to be the third thing we're going to work on. Corruption at all levels. I've been listening for decades about how the people of this state are tired of the corruption. They're tired of the political games. They're tired of all it. If you're really tired of it, I'm your Huckleberry. Give me a shot and I'll show you what I'll do. So that's why I want to let you guys know tonight. I still hope that you'll come out on February 28th. And so we can have a good time. And again, I want you guys to see some of the kids and what they have to say. But we've got to turn this state around for these kids. We cannot keep going down the path we're going. We've got to put an end to the corruption. We've got to put an end to this executive fiat of running our state by an executive that thinks that their tyrannical behavior is okay. We've got to stop it. And all I can do is offer myself to you. You want me to do it? I'm here to do it. Okay. So that's what I wanted to tell you. I hope you guys have a good night and watch out tomorrow. We got some more information that's coming out tomorrow. But my friends in Chicago, it looks like the church, the archdiocese up there, doesn't want to let those children go to school without a mask on. So they want a little bit. We'll see what they want to do too. We'll see what we can offer them to maybe encourage a little bit to take those masks off those kids in the diocese up there. So I'll have more about that for you guys tomorrow. Okay. Have a good night.